Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're cutting straight through the noise. Look, right now, we are seeing AI-exposed companies trading at these wild 1999-style bubble valuations, driven by some seriously massive investment figures and viral, over-the-top claims. But we're not going to get caught up in that hype cycle today. Instead, we're zooming in on the actual, grounded, operational return on investment of AI in financial services. We're talking real-world application. So here's the game plan for our briefing. We're going to methodically navigate the AI hype, break down the reality of current bottlenecks, pinpoint exactly where AI actually works right now, and wrap up with a concrete implementation playbook. All right, let's jump right into part 1, navigating the AI hype, myth versus reality. You've probably heard the viral claims, the idea that autonomous AI is going to seamlessly step in and replace 100% of human financial advisors and customer agents. It's everywhere. But the regulatory reality? It's completely different. In customer support and advisory, AI is really acting as a strict efficiency co-pilot. It is absolutely fantastic at the heavy lifting, summarizing thick client histories, drafting up routine responses, speeding through middle office research. But at the end of the day, humans are still completely required to handle the trust, the empathy, and actually closing the deals. This brings us to another huge myth about disruption. People think generative AI is going to totally overthrow incumbent banks overnight. But unlike creative industries, say music or coding, where AI is genuinely disruptive, the financial sector is guarded by incredibly heavy regulation. Think about it. A fully AI-generated asset manager still has to get a regulatory license to manage money, which is notoriously difficult. Because of these strict licensing moats, AI in finance isn't some existential threat. It's an efficiency innovation. It's a sustaining tool that peers can actually copy pretty easily once it's proven. Moving on to Section 2, the reality of bottlenecks, or what we might call the friction in the machine. The true reality check hits the moment we look at operational friction. Before any financial institution can even think about harnessing AI, they have to conquer the foundational 4 V's of big data: volume, velocity, variety, and veracity. AI models are literally only as good as the underlying data architecture. In the real world, most institutions are spending up to 80% of their effort just trying to clean up legacy databases and smash data silos before AI can deliver a single drop of value. Simply put, if your data layer is a mess, the AI tools are basically useless. And then, well, we have to talk about hallucinations. Because generative models create content based on probabilities, they can confidently spit out stuff that is completely unfaithful to the source, or just straight up nonsense. In a creative field, maybe that's a quirky feature. But in finance, a 95% accuracy rate sounds pretty good, right? Actually, scratch that. In financial auditing or regulatory reporting, being wrong 5% of the time is a massive, unacceptable failure. You absolutely cannot have an AI hallucinate a client's credit score or just invent corporate revenues out of thin air. Consider this wild cautionary tale known as the fish stall incident. A Dutch research organization deployed an AI to model city crime. The AI crunched the numbers and concluded that to reduce crime, the city needed to revoke the licenses for fish stalls. Seriously? Why? Well, it turns out the AI completely lacked data on communal town squares. It only knew where the fish stalls were located, so it wrongfully correlated them with the crime happening in those bustling public squares. It perfectly highlights the extreme danger of missing data and exactly why human-in-the-loop safeguards aren't just nice to have, they are mandatory. Beyond data gaps, there's a massive regulatory hurdle we call explainability. If a bank uses AI to deny someone a loan application, they must be able to prove exactly why that decision was made. No black boxes allowed. If you can't explain it, you can't use it. This rule is crucial. It's designed to prevent unfair biases, data privacy breaches, and systemic market manipulation. All right, part 3, where AI actually works, sustaining innovation and ROI. Let's pivot away from the bottlenecks and look at where this is actively cutting through the noise today. This is where the magic actually happens. We are seeing immediate, tangible ROI in back-office automation, things like extracting complex data from unstructured SEC filings or massive loan documents. In the middle office, AI is vastly accelerating Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering compliance checks. These might not sound like the sexiest use cases, but they are the unsung heroes of AI in finance right now, delivering massive workflow acceleration and efficiency without those existential regulatory risks. And when we look at risk management and fraud detection, we have to ignore the hype that says autonomous AI will magically predict the next market crash or instantly catch every single financial crime. The reality? Machine learning is being used to vastly improve real-time anomaly detection. It's significantly reducing false positives in anti-money laundering. It's really all about optimizing that delicate balance between stopping actual fraud and not accidentally blocking a legitimate customer from buying their morning coffee. To really ground this in reality, let's look at Visa's global payment network. Their machine learning model evaluates and authenticates a global transaction for fraud in just 300 milliseconds. Think about that. In less than a third of a second, the AI is analyzing behavioral data, location data, device data across thousands of transactions happening simultaneously around the world. And the operational payoff for executing within that tiny 300 millisecond window is just staggering. By leveraging their massive proprietary data sets, Visa's AI prevented an estimated $26 billion in fraud in a single year. $26 billion. That is what true sustaining AI innovation looks like in this sector. It's deeply embedded, highly functional, and extremely profitable. Finally, let's wrap things up with Section 4, the Implementation Playbook, a roadmap for leaders. If you're a financial executive or tech leader tuning in, execution comes down to following these steps sequentially. You can't skip ahead. Step 1, prioritize your data hygiene first. You absolutely need a clean, accessible legacy data layer. Step 2, build risk-aware governance by implementing strict human-in-the-loop safeguards. And Step 3, avoid chasing those loss-making viral hypergrowth trends. Instead, target efficiency innovations that offer clear, immediate, and measurable ROI. Start small. To pull this off safely, you absolutely need strict governance rules. Build structured, compliant data lakes. Categorically prohibit the use of open-source generative AI with private client data. That is a massive privacy violation waiting to happen. Enforce that strict human oversight we talked about. Invest in your own proprietary datasets so you have a real capital expense moat against competitors. And of course, constantly validate the AI's outputs so you don't end up blaming the fish stalls for everything. Sticking to these rules is how institutions avoid the ultimate reputational disaster of an AI making unauthorized, hallucinated financial decisions. I want to leave you with this really profound thought on enterprise adoption from computer scientist John McCarthy. He once said, as soon as it works, no one calls it AI anymore. It just fades into the background and becomes the invisible infrastructure of our daily lives, whether that's lightning-fast fraud detection or seamless customer service. So here's my question for you. How will your organization look past all this wazy hype, overcome those brutal data bottlenecks, and make this technology invisibly work for your own operations? Thanks for joining me on this explainer.